Hi guys, it is a beautiful day that we meet once more on this beautiful show with one Benjamin Zulu. Alright, tell a friend to tell a friend that this is one of the best shows ever. And today, again, we sit you down to actually give you caution on some of the things that we tend to ignore. Now, have you ever wondered why some people are addicted to whoever they are dating, or they think they are dating, regardless of the ups and downs they're going through, the squabbles they're going through, the bitter exchanges they're going through, and yet they cling to such individuals hoping that one day they'll settle down. Now today on this show, Benjamin is going to tell you why it is not wisdom to formalize that off again relationship, okay? Why you shouldn't formalize that kind of relationship. It is going to be very grievous, by the way. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi. Can I start by asking a question? If a person can ignore you and act like you don't exist, at one moment, you were inseparable, you're planning a future, you're talking romance, you love each other so much, they call you sweet names, they give you the best feelings on earth, and you started imagining a life together and you swept off to a romantic up there.
Whirlwind relationship.
Remember the whirlwind courtship. So, if a person can come from being the best person, the one you talk constantly, you cannot, you do your day without talking to them. Suddenly they fizzle out. They zoom out. They disappear from your life and they leave a void that is tormenting. Remember, we said breakups hurt, not always because of what has happened, but because of what will never will happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that we are not together, but the fact that now what I had imagined with us will not happen. People are losing the hope. What people are mourning sometimes is the future they had seen with you.
Yeah.
It's the chemistry, the feeling, it's the imagination. You know, we always, human beings, we find security in having an assurance of a future. And when people are in a relationship, they are assured of this marriage, assured of this, and they're building this, And this they diss you, they assume you, they insult your personality, treat you like you are a nobody. Bramwell, if that kind of person who has made you feel most terrible, unseen, unrecognized, unimportant, invisible, useless, if you let that person come back to your life, what are you doing to your inner life? What are you telling your psychology? You know, it's one problem for people to insult you. It's another for you to agree with them.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. If a person passes, Brahma, you are a dog. And you say, that's your opinion, my friend. Deal with it. It has not registered.
Yeah.
But what if you agreed? By the way, come to think of it. Yeah, man, you are right, man. What has happened? You see, this person who insults you by making you feel small, irrelevant, unlovable, unworthy. I mean, and then you agree with them by bringing them back. Because you see, we are discussing on again, off again relationship, where it's break up, patch up, break up, patch up, break up, patch up. Forget even the multiple. Just one. Just one breakup. People think it's a small thing for a person to rip off your feelings. Let's remind us that our feelings don't know how to attach in a tentative manner.
Yeah.
Let me give you an impossible experiment. I want you to imagine finding this lady and say you're going to love her with all your heart for only 1 month. Yeah? Prepare your heart. I love this lady for only 1 month. Impossible.
Never.
Exactly. Nobody gets into a relationship to come out. If you get into a relationship to come out, it feels like a ripping off. You feel that your heart ache. It's very, if somebody takes you through that kind of pain, that's the last time you should have to deal with them on earth. Treat them like a foreigner from their own. An alien, a person out there. A stranger. That's not part of... You're not saying you hate them. You simply don't let them do that again. So if you let back a person who hurt you, disrespected you, you are insulting yourself. You're destroying your psychological defenses. You are teaching your emotions and your mind and your will that you can agree with a person who would reduce you to nobody. Naturally, in courtesy, when you greet a person, you are acknowledging their existence.
Yeah.
Hi, you are acknowledging their existence. When you don't greet people, it's like you don't acknowledge them. Whether you have done, they feel unseen. In love, in relationships, communicating with the person you love every morning, checking how they're feeling, listening to them, that's how we feel seen, loved, cared for. If you remove that, and you wake up, and a day goes, and another, and you don't check on that person, whether they died, they got accident, whether they are alive, whether they are fighting for their lives, whether they are crying, you don't care. That's the worst insult in relationships. The worst thing in relationships is not hatred, it's ignorance. Please remind people this.
Okay.
Indifference is the worst form of mistreatment in relationships. Not hatred. For people to hate you or to feel bad about you or to feel angry with you, they're in contact. They're thinking about you.
Yeah.
Are we together? The worst form of mistreatment is when a person assumes your existence. Because love means I'm very important to you. When I'm not important to you, that's how I feel unloved, cancelled out, that I don't exist, I'm unseen, I'm nobody. So a person who has ever gone cold on you, forgotten you, can never treasure you. Forget it. Forget it. Nobody can come from trashing you to treasuring you. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Remember that. People can treasure you and then later trash you.
Trash you.
But they can never trash you, then later treasure you. It's not possible. So when you let back, even just one patch up, just one, it's an insult to yourself. Okay, somebody will ask, are you ruling out reconciliation and forgiveness? I'm saying people should not be given second chance.
Even God.
Give us second chance. Okay? This is the rule. Relationships are not a must. Just know that.
Okay.
Hey. Brother, stop saying no. Everybody deserves a second chance. You don't need me. This was a voluntary attempt to build the love together, and it failed. You can easily try with the next person. Are we together? Can you thank God he did not write it somewhere, Bramwell shall marry Beatrice? Yeah. Okay. You'd have to deal with the God's law about Beatrice. However Beatrice behaves. Thankfully. God left it open for you to try who it works with. And he told you this is only for this side. Over there, you don't have to deal with that person. Okay? So those people who say second chances, this is not a must. It's not mandatory. You can always learn your lessons and apply with the next person. You don't have to go back to the same person. The second reason you should not go back is because of human psychology. Once people have learned that they can disrespect you and come back, they'll do it again. The habitual nature of human psychology. Once people have broken your defenses and disrespected you and left, and then you will take them back, they know they can always get away with it. Where is the place for reconciliation and forgiveness? Forgiveness and reconciliation are very different things. When people hurt you and leave, you must always forgive. Let them go. To forgive means to stop wishing for revenge, to stop holding them in pain, to stop hoping they find karma, to stop mulling over and holding anger, to let God deal with it, to wish them well and think that they will learn their lesson wherever they go. That's forgiveness. To find peace within you and say, I've learned my lesson, thank you, let me move on. Reconciliation means coming back, patching up, getting back together, restoring the relationship. That is not a commandment. God only commands you to forgive. He does not command you to reconcile. He does not command you to trust, because reconciliation and trust must be earned. Okay? Forgiveness is from God. He told you, vengeance is mine. Leave it to me. I will avenge. Just forgive that person and move on with your life. But taking them back is a different affair. You take them back when circumstances permit. For example, people may not break up with you. They can just hurt you, but you're still in a relationship. That is when you forgive. Let me repeat that. Yeah. You forgive when they hurt. You reconcile when there was a shake. It was not a breakup. If a person says, I don't want you in my life anymore, divorce, you don't matter, get out of my life, you are bad news to me, I regret ever knowing you. Never take that kind of person back. You have taught your own psychology that you can be insulted and go back to where you are insulted. All right? That's the difference here. Now, people who started this kind of thing and this on again, off again are usually long term. You're making many mistakes. Never date long term. What is long term anyway? What are you dating for? You never book cars long term. Yeah. Why are you booking a woman long term? What is it with you? If you are ready to marry, marry. If you are not ready, don't date. Long-term relationships are invariably a mistake. They involve doing something when you're not ready to consummate it. Eventually start having sex to make it last. Now, when people are dating something, when they have sex, they're cementing the relationship. They're bringing some juice, glue, they're gluing, they're showing trust, they're deepening their connection. That's the language people say, we are making love. With my girlfriend, boyfriend. This is why they live together. This is why they spend weekends. This is why they date for years. Sex is a complication. Premarital sex is a complication. There is no one recorded advantage of having sex before you get married. People may feel some good feeling, some sensation when they're doing it. But if you sit and think, you realize the level of trust reduces. The person knows now you can have sex outside marriage. Even when you get married, they are not quite sure. Even if you used to mention God, and now you're mentioning God, you used to do that and you did it while you are still with that God. You destroy the basis for them to trust you. It's in your interest, brother, to keep your zip locked until you get married. It's in your interest. So that your woman can release you to go to work. Yeah? Yeah? When your woman loves you, she becomes vulnerable to you. So if you want to manipulate her to have sex, you can do it. Because she's soft to you, you hug, you together. If you push, you can overwhelm. But remember, silence does not mean consent. Silence does not mean trust. She can quiet and let you do it, but she still remembers you pushed for it. You insisted. You manipulated the situation. You trapped. You blackmailed. You pushed to the wall. You harassed. You nagged. What does that tell her? You can do that with another person. Now you get married and you can't go for shows without her calling 4 times. Sometimes people are not suspecting you because they are paranoid. They suspect you because they know your potential. Yeah? Don't always blame the suspicious person. I know that guy. Yeah? Brother, I want you to keep sex until marriage so that you can show your woman you can control your urges, your impulses, you can tame your horses. You can time and obey seasons. All right? You need to demonstrate that for your own freedom. So that you don't, her mind is not going here, there, you know, imagining what was happening that day. How come? You need to demonstrate ability to control yourself so that your woman has basis. Trust is earned. Yeah. Do not eat the fruit before the time so that you can let your woman know that she can actually trust you. So there are people who patch up things and they try to get married so that now maybe let's get pregnant. Maybe now it will work. Relationships don't work because you got pregnant. They don't work because you got a baby. They don't work because you did a wedding. Wedding is a one-day thing. Yeah. They don't work because you started living together. They don't work because now it's official. The chemistry, the connection, the instability, the history, the lack of trust, the lack of consistency will still come back. Never ignore what has been going on because it will come back. The rule in relationships says as follows. You must read the rhythm between you and that person. Brother, write this word somewhere and hide it. The Bible says you write it in the tablet of your heart. Yes. To engrave in a tablet of your heart means you memorize and it becomes part of your subconscious, part of your reasoning. What matters between you and your woman is the flow, the rhythm, is the depth of connection. It's the abundance of laughter. It's the silence that is full of trust. You know, there's rich silence and the dry silence. Silences are not the same. There can be rhythm even when people are not talking. You can tell they're both just on their phones or watching TV, but the silence between them is harmonious. It's those silences, those rich conversations. You and your woman, the thing that will keep you going for 20 years. It's not the money. It's not the title. It's not where you live. It's not the status. It's not the baby. It's not even the bedroom. Those things are only odd. Those people think they're creating love when they make sex. They're having it opposite. Sex is supposed to come on top of rich conversations, deep laughter, understanding, in-jokes, the jokes between us, glances, the admiration, the longing, the missing. That's when sex comes now to cap it all. It comes to make it rich. Sex only adds to the fire. If that chemistry was not there, this is a mere rubbing of bodies. Mating of animals. Never be deceived. Never be deceived. It's the chemistry that is between you and your woman that will be consummated by intimacy. That's when the intimacy will have meaning. Again, let me redefine intimacy again. Intimacy is not removing clothes. Anybody can remove clothes. It's removing your guard. Intimacy is removing your fear and relaxing. In fact, you know there is true love when you can whisper at night, when you can disclose how you felt today, when you can say, I had a not physical exposure. Physical is just the heart, exactly. And any fool can do it, and the fools do it every day. The real intimacy is heart to heart. Is when I can hear how you're breathing and I know you're not okay. Is when I don't need to be told to rush and make you some food, to get you some fruit. Is when you're in the supermarket and remember your girl. You know she likes apples. You grab an apple for her. Is that person who's always at the back of your mind, whatever you are doing? That's how love is. In case another thing is masquerading as love in your head, let me give you the real deal, brother. Remove that other thing. True love is when the person is always at the back of your mind, whatever you're doing. If that's not it, brother. You know the way you pick a cloth, you look at it, you admire a little bit, and you say, hey, I'll come back. That's how you live. So drop that cloth. Keep moving. That's why it's impossible not to talk to a person you love the whole day. They're always on your mind. Unless one of you is in ICU. In which case the other one should be frequent there. Okay? If a person can go a day, 2 days. Have you heard of the madness? It's 1 week we have not talked with my guy. He's not your guy. You are alone.
You're dating yourself.
You're dating a ghost. Say with your ghost. What is your guy? Love is very emotional. You miss the person after a few hours.
Yes.
When a joke is cracked, you remember them. How they would have reacted. When you're in the same room, you can tell people are in love when in the same room, when they laugh, they glance at each other.
Yes.
All right? Love cannot be hidden. You can only compose yourself for the purpose of working. But is this person who brings flower and color in your life? You don't need to have any particular topics to talk. In fact, if you can have all that now flowing without sex, that's true love. That's true love. But if you try to have sex, awkwardness sets in. There before you used to meet and have stories. Now you meet and fall on each other. That's the problem with sex. It takes center stage. When it's done at the wrong time, you know it's bread eaten in secret. It takes the center stage. It removes all the other butterflies of discussing this and the other. Now you don't even meet in open places to talk anymore. You must the scene. Brother, avoid the scenes. They take the center stage.
I like that. You see, Benjamin, I just like this kind of discussion and how you've actually guided us into all these this beautiful topic on and off kind of relationship. Now you'll realize, Benjamin, one of the things that makes these people, especially ladies, I've seen ladies being victims of this a lot. You see, they tend to think that he will change, things will get better. I always say, Benjamin, The biggest threat and the biggest problem to progress is familiarity.
Exactly.
You see? And you realize that they came together. Now you are too familiar with each other. He has ghosted on you. He has hurt you. Now you tell yourself, Tena niende, should I go back and begin from point one? I don't think so. We've been together for too long. I better stick with him.
Thank you for bringing those 2 points up, because I was burning with them this morning. Can you imagine a girl comes telling me, there's this guy who stressed me so much, we have been dating this long, now we no longer even have sex. You can guess how I was already feeling.
She dared.
And she's 24 years old. Brahma, when you pray next time, remember me in prayer.
Thank you for that.
I'm losing patience for idiots. I Brahma, those girls who talk like that, those people who talk like that, those men who talk like that,
yes,
they're suffering from 2 things. Laziness. Dating is work.
Yeah.
By now you have learned that it takes a lot of effort, patience, planning, thinking, communicating. It takes a lot of finances to date right. So people go back to what is familiar to avoid doing the right work. They're looking for shortcut. Better the devil you know than an angel you don't know. Why do you have to deal with the devil in the first place? So you're marrying a devil seeing, just because you know the devil. It will still kill you even if you know it. Familiarity will not change the devil. It's still a devil. All right? Don't laziness is when people avoid the work and they're looking for shortcut and they're hoping to get, we say you cannot rush what you want to last forever.
Yeah.
True success is gradual and takes effort and sweat. If you just want to have a shortcut, you'll always have shoddy things. All right? The second reason these people marry wrong is because they do not have wisdom. They are carried by emotions. Because like that girl I was asking her, now you're only 24. Your friends are rushing against time to secure a financial future. You're talking about sex. Do you know what will happen? 3 years, 4 years down the line, those are the girls who say, he abandoned me, 3 children here. We have no food, please somebody said, we are even being locked out. And I told her, because you are neglecting. Do you know poverty is a lifestyle choice?
Yeah. It's a choice.
Born in poverty, but when you're born in poverty, we don't call you poor. We just say these are kids who are born in poverty. Kids are not poor or rich.
Yeah.
Kids are just kids. It's the environment they're born in. But once you become an adult of your own right, and you continue to stay in financial misery, now, those are your choices. I told this girl, you're choosing poverty, diseases, depression, and probably an early grave.
Yeah.
I told her, you're taking the path of ruin. Bramwell, there are people who have chosen the path of ruin by neglecting personal development. Let me go back to my philosophy. When you're in the third world, you don't need a motivator. You know, in America, they might need to be drummed up to wake up because they have a car, they have good houses, they have inheritance. Surely, a kid who has money coming to the bank every end of month, they might need a lot of motivation to wake up. That kid requires a lot of music and motivational speaking and quotes to show up for work. But elsewhere in Africa, yeah, you have no bank account, no bank knows you. Right? Yeah. Brahman, no name, no nothing. You don't even know, you can't afford anything, you can't even afford your own bus fare. Where do you find them to think about sex? Another one wrote something. There are some texts I'm no longer able to read to the end. I cannot. I started dating this guy. All of a sudden I was pregnant. Shut. Are you dating nude? Or did you get pregnant by wind pollination? Mosquito bite. Brahma, anybody who holds sex has poverty mindset. I've come to connect it now.
Yeah.
I never used to relate the two. But anybody who is casual with what God made sacred is courting disaster. Anybody who can just have sex and they're not thinking of the long-term consequences, too reckless with your own life. I told you, I asked you what took Samson down. Although he had killed 1,000 men, he was brought down by one woman. The mighty man, David, our role model. the same thing. Judah, look at down men, mighty men. If you can forget, and Brahman, I asked you not to wait for pastor to read for Bible for you on Sunday. Read it for yourself every day. That book is what you live by, not the food you ate.
Yeah.
It's not the food you ate. I believe one reason we are so badly off as a people, we neglect what matters and pay attention to what matters less. What does it say about the word of God? You shall write it on your doorpost. You shall discuss it when you sit, when you lie down, when you walk. You better not recite song lyrics. It's okay to forget. Love lines, pick up lines. But people are reciting what? The position of Chelsea. People are reciting where Messi is transferring to. People are following gossip. Who is breaking up with who?
Yes.
As for you, take the word of God and put it number one. The other things will also come. But let it, and then he will tell you one thing, assurance that kept me going. Brahma, because of this one assurance, I discovered, you can call me a fanatic if you want, but I will remain devoted to hearing what God wants to say every day. Because he says, you shall be like a tree planted by rivers. When you're planted by a river, you don't depend on rain. So however the economy is, he says his leaf shall not wither. When Corona came, I told my wife, our leaf will not wither. We are planted by the river. So remind these people, if you're casual with sex, if you're casual with saying, you know, if you let emotions carry you away, if you put yourself in temptations, you'll end up what Tamar did. Tamar had no other mistake apart from carelessness. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What Amnon and Tamar, that story, what is the mistake of Tamar? What was the mistake? She was an innocent girl who was too innocent for her own good. If a guy says he is sick and you should come and cook for him, then he says everybody should leave the room.
Imagine.
And then says bring the food into the bedroom. Surely, where is your common sense? The mistake of many girls today is the mistake of Tamar.
Yeah.
They are innocent but ignorant. They are not there is no other place Tamar is mentioned apart from the case of rape.
Yeah.
That is how our story just went like this. I want you to be very careful. There's another daughter of Jacob called Dinah. Dinah was also raped by some guy, and the brothers went and killed the guy, and the story. Be very careful. If you're not cautious, other people can ruin you.
Thank you. If you're not cautious, other people can ruin you. Now, Benjamin, the other aspect that make these people cling and hope that their up and down, on off relationship will work is expectations. You see, they hope and they expect, this guy will change. You see, he's the best guy I've ever known. Imagine. You see, expectations are keeping them hooked. Funny expectations, so to speak.
I don't know even where they get those hopes from. People have a way of creating hopes. And because most people will promise, this lady has been, there's a guy told me the lady came to her house and broke all the electronics. Broke the TV, broke the fridge, and they're still in a relationship. I asked him, brother, I like man talk sometimes, because with men I can be savage. Brahma, if one day you come tell me stupidity, you better make sure it's not on air. Because the man is supposed to call the shots.
Yes.
To show leadership. So I asked him, is she the only woman on earth? Is she your daughter? Is she your mother? Why are you putting up with damage? Why are you putting up with toxicity? No, I know the reason. Because you are eating the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
You are sleeping on us or you can't think straight. If there was no sex, you could simply see she's a burden. How can you break a TV that I had to save up to buy? How can you throw my phone on the wall and it's the one that is connecting me to the world? You as a man, why would you keep up with such a toxic woman? Let's remind men, most women are not marriageable.
Thank you.
No, let's add another word. Most beautiful, sexy, shapy, curvy, yellow, loaded, sitting allowance, hot women are not marriageable. Swallow that, and I wish you luck. Because even in songs, men are singing how sexy the woman is. Yeah. Sexy. And this thing acts, you can't build a life based on, please use your head, not the other head, to evaluate who to live with. Man talk. This is on a
Thank
man
you.
talk.
That is a man talk. Benjamin, how can we keep our expectations in check while we are dating?
Can you have a friend who doesn't flatter you? Sometimes it just needs one word from a friend. I like when I answer people with two sentences. One girl asked me yesterday, this is a guy I'm dating, but he has a baby mama, and he's not taking care of the child, but now he needs somebody to come take care of the child this holiday, and the baby mama is coming to live. They are planning, she's coming to live without taking care of the kid, and it will be a month they're living together. I feel a bit uncomfortable, but I don't want to sound paranoid. Don't be silly. You're being lied to. They're still together. And I was done. She said, oh my God, you're right. Many people know the truth, just wanted confirmation. Whenever you date a man who was a child, he must have clarified his life to make sure there's no drama, indecent or unbecoming interactions with the baby mama. If he cannot clarify his life, he is eminently disqualified to marry you. Don't come into a confusion. And I told her, you don't need to fight that. Oh, I want to tell him I can't agree that. I told her, even if you fight now, those fights will come back for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's the man himself should have clarified his life to make sure the woman he's trying to date and marry is very secure and his space, his life is peaceful. And not you're not obligated to marry anyone. There's no one person who is your responsibility. Don't let your emotions confuse you. Yeah. That was my attitude when I was dating. We are flowing well, but suddenly I realized there's something in your life you're yet to clarify. One lady really, I would have wanted, she still had things to do with a former boyfriend. Not gotten over, still in touch, still visits, okay. Ah, thank you, continue in your life. Yeah? I want you to carry that attitude. Once you realize people have issues, they still want time to deal with, they're not decided, move on.
Right. There you have it, guys. I hope you've heard that, and I'm happy because one of the reasons as to why you're not going to add to the number of divorce cases in the world is because you have listened and you have watched, okay, what Benjamin has just said. Please, as I repeat, take it very, very seriously. Remember, not everyone you meet every other day is not a candidate of marriage. Take it to the bank, all right? And where purpose lacks, you're going to take everybody and anything as your assignment. Be on the watch out. Thank you for watching Benjamin Zulu Show.